Yes, it's John G. Sutton. Tales from the jails. I want to talk today about my experience of dealing with prisoner X. Yeah, he had no name. His cell card was back to front, so it was blank. It was a red cell card. And he was located on the secure unit. That's the segregation unit at Wormwood Scrubs. The year would be 1976, and the prisoner, I was put in charge of watching this prisoner all the time I was on duty, like 8 hours. Stick with this everywhere he went. I went. He was only allowed out to go to the shower unit and back, to go to the toilet and back. And when he did that, I was handcuffed to him, and also we had 2 other officers, one of which was controlling a dog. He was one of the dog patrols. So they were definitely certain that this man must, under no circumstances, be allowed to escape. He was only in there for a few days, I believe. But on one of the days that he was in, he was cuffed to me. Not when he was in his cell, by the way, just moving backwards and forwards. So it came to the time for him to go for a shower. He was allowed to have a shower. Handcuffed to me, he said I'd go to the toilet. He didn't say anything, but indicated that he wanted to go. Never spoke, actually. Indicated that he wanted to go to the toilet, so I took him to the latrine, you know. And this is no joke. He was handcuffed to me, standing next to me having a piss in the urinal. And instead of pissing in the urinal, the bastard pissed all over my boots. I think he did it deliberately. In fact, I'm bloody sure he did it deliberately. He was about 5'7", extremely strongly built, very powerfully built, strong arms, big strong hands, big fists. Said nothing, yeah. Handcuffed to me, out of there. Thank you very much for pissing all over my boots. Which he just looked at me as if he completely ignored it, you know. And then took him for a shower. I kept him on my wrist, yeah, so that he went into the shower, but he didn't. I didn't let him loose I was determined he wasn't going to escape from me. So he had a shower like that, but it was straightforward. In 2 minutes and out. Yeah, just sling his clothes back on, back to his cell, lock him in, because it was considered to be an extremely dangerous inmate. Of course, he had no name. I subsequently found out that his name was Carlos The Jackal, yeah, and that he'd been arrested in central London in a hotel when the maid who'd been cleaning the hotel room had inadvertently opened his suitcase and found inside his suitcase weapons, hand grenades, all manner of explosives, and panicked and contacted the police. The police were waiting for him when he came back, and he was arrested and taken straight to the Wormwood Scrubs, where he was locked in the secure unit, which is a prison within a prison. And there he remained. Carlos the Jackal remained in there for about 2 or 3 days. It was no more than that. And he was then taken out of there by armed guard, yeah, to the airport, where he was flown to France. And he was handed over to the gendarmes in France and subsequently escaped. Yeah, if you come across him, he's still alive, I believe. He's in a prison, I believe he's in Marseille or somewhere like that. But he's still alive. He's an old man now. Yeah, he'd be about my age, in his mid-70s. Carlos the Jackal, yeah. So if you see him, tell him John says thanks very much for pissing all over his boots. Bastard, eh? He killed many people. He was an assassin, and I believe that he was got out of the country quick because the French did not want him disclosing what they'd put him up to. And of course, MI5, who would be responsible for all that, along with the Home Secretary, probably agreed and decided to repatriate the bastard, which, and he apparently, between the airport when he was handed over to the prison cell that was awaiting for him, Carlos the Jackal escaped. There have been a number of high-profile prisoners such as that. One, of course, was George Blake, who was a notorious spy. He was spying for the Russians, and he was held in Wormwood Scrubs, another one in the Scrubs, but he was on D-Wing in the Scrubs. And when I was working there, they showed me the window out of which it was alleged that George Blake had climbed and scaled the wall and escaped. First of all, the wall's about 18 foot. The walls at Wormwood Scrubs are about 18 foot. The actual window that he was supposed to have climbed out on was at the end of D3 landing, and to actually get to it you'd have to jump about 6 foot to get to this window, and it's a window made out of solid thick iron bars with a window set into it but locked. Now how you would get through that beats me, you know. I mean, I was quite strong and athletic at the time, and I certainly couldn't do it. I asked one of the physical training instructors what he thought about it. He said, no way can you do that. So this was in the 1950s that he escaped, or early 1960s, yeah. George Blake, look him up, yeah, escaped from Wormwood Scrubs. But I've been there, seen the landing, seen the windings. I don't see how he could have done it. Nope. But escapes from prison were pretty rare. Somebody did escape from the Scrubs and started shooting at the police, I believe. They came in, armed robbers, and shot at the police and hid in Shepherd's Bush. They didn't get too far away, yeah. Shot a police officer as well. I'll have to look into that more carefully, yeah. But generally speaking, they didn't escape from the Scrubs. The main ways that they would escape was if they were on escort. If you were being escorted out of the Scrubs to be taken to probably the Old Bailey, yeah, where you'd be, all the big main criminal trials were held. I've been, well, I've worked at the Old Bailey. I was the dock officer for a while at the Old Bailey, which was not a particularly edifying experience, extremely boring working in the dock, believe me. Yeah, and inmates, they're not going to escape. If they ever had thoughts of them being escaping or anything like that, then they would be on the end of an handcuff attached to the dock officer's wrists. And they generally don't escape from there. They might shout abuse at the judge, in which case, at the discretion of the judge, you take them downstairs. And you go, right, when you're in the number one court, the number one, I've been there, and there's a staircase down from downstairs. The cells are directly below the court. So when you're looking at images of number one court at the Old Bailey, the dock where the prisoners are standing, there's a door at the back of the dock leading into a very steep staircase that goes straight down into the cells, and that's, you take them from the cells up the thing, and when they're sentenced and the judge says, officer, take them down, then down they go into the cells. Generally speaking, they don't fight, but if they want to, then there's plenty of staff downstairs waiting for them. And usually, well, it was in my day, the dock officers were selected appropriately, you know. What they used to do with the Cray twins, people ask about the Cray twins, they used to get the biggest, ugliest jailers they could find. And everywhere they went, because the Cray twins were about 5'8" in height, you know, and weighed about 13 stone, you know. They were middleweights, really. Obviously, not training. They'd be about 13 stone. Yeah, and they used to cuff them to the biggest, ugliest jailers they could find. So if you ever see any images of the Cray twins being presented at court, you'll see them cuffed up to some giant. They did it on purpose to make the Cray twins look small, because when it comes to the really big men, they were small, but they were extremely dangerous. Anyway, I had a request here, so it's that time of day. Yes, folks. Here's the song dinger. It's a request I had for a song that I actually do know, yeah? Don't know all the words, but got them up on a screen here. And I'm going to attempt to sing this for you. So this is a song that was featured Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson and Johnny Cash. Who was singing as a group called The Highwayman. And this song is called The Highwayman. So here we go. I'll give it a go anyway. I was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. The bastards hung me in the year of 25, but I am still alive. I was a sailor. I was born upon the tide. With the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner round the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft and furled the mainsail in a blow. And when the yards broke off, they said that I got killed, but I am living still. I was a dam builder across a river deep and wide, where steel and water do collide, a place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the concrete below. They buried me in that tomb that knows no sound, but I am still around. I'll always be around. I fly a starship across the universe divide. When I reach the other side, I'll find a place to rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again. Or I may be a simple drop of rain, but I will remain, and I'll be back again and again and again and again. There you go. The Highwayman. Sincerely hope you enjoyed that, folks. Don't forget to subscribe, like, click the ding-dongs, all that. It helps. See you soon. Tales from the jail.